Airport safety is vital for those who travel, whether you're going on a business trip, taking a vacation, or visiting family. September 11, 2001 started off like any normal day would. Suddenly, terrorists take over a few of our planes, and you know the rest of the story. You might also remember the underwear bomber from Christmas Day 2009. While slightly more humorous, this was still a major threat that nearly cost more American lives. Due to attacks such as these, the United States has been forced to install security scanners to help keep explosives and other dangerous weapons off the plane with the innocent passengers. These scanners, while beneficial, might also be causing us danger in other ways. I will be discussing the problems with these scanners, saying what these problems cause, and offering solutions to help eliminate the danger. First is the problems. These security scanners, while helpful, also have a few unfortunate drawbacks. The major issue concerning them is the fact that they use X-rays to scan the user. To give you a better understanding, let's explain how these machines work. They use technology known as advanced imaging technology, which uses radiation to penetrate the person's clothes and basically make a nude image of the person. This is used to make it easy for the airport security officers to identify any hidden items under the person's clothing. The radiation is used in the form of a backscatter X-ray. While this does allow for efficient scanning, the X-rays can lead to long-term damage to the person that is being scanned. There's another problem as well. The problem is the fact that the machine creates a naked image of each person's body. In the United States, we citizens are granted personal liberties that should allow us not to be susceptible to this kind of treatment. The machine shows far too many details. According to the image initially released by the TSA, or Transportation Security Authority, these scans were not originally going to make an outline of the person's skin, but instead an X-ray that we're more accustomed to, one that shows the skeleton of each person. These scanners were also initially only going to be used when a person failed a metal detector test, but they are now currently being used as a primary screening method in 45 U.S. airports, according to Don'tScan.us. The scanners will potentially lead to some major issues for the users in the future. Next is what these problems cause. Ethan A. Huff of Natural News stated in a September 18th article that women that possess the BRCA gene are more susceptible to issues caused by the scanners. He also said that according to the Netherlands Cancer Institute, women found to have any diagnostic use of radiation before age 30 and possess the BRCA gene are increasing their risk of breast cancer by 90%. Huff later stated, the study also suggests that the U.S. Transportation Security Administration's naked body scanners are a serious cancer threat, particularly among young women with the BRCA gene. The TSA's backscatter version of its naked body scanner blasts a narrow beam of high-intensity radiation at travelers' bodies, which is absorbed almost entirely by the skin and tissue directly under the skin. The backscatter is what seems to be the problem here. Dr. Manny Alvarez of Fox News says about the backscatters, it's important to note that the backscatter X-ray systems are not like a standard medical X-ray machine that operates in transmission mode. That is to say, medical X-rays are transmitted through a patient's body. Backscatter X-rays are not transmitted through a patient's body, but they are, as the name would suggest, scattered or reflected to a detector that is used to create an image. Alvarez later stated that the bigger problem is the overall population. Even though the individual risk is very small, the impact on the population may not be so small if the exposed population is large. This is potentially the case with airport security X-ray scanners. We know the individual risk is very small, but multiply that times the number of people going through the airport each and every year in the U.S., which is currently about 700 million, maybe 1 billion in a decade from now. And then we start to have a concern about the population risk. The X-rays pose a great threat, but there's another threat that seems to be more of a problem for some than the X-rays are. That problem is the nude picture that the scanner creates in order to view a person's body. Rick Cini of ABC News stated, people can't help but feel a little creeped out by the process. For a lot of people, it's the fear that somehow naked images of them will go viral on the internet. Or maybe it's just a nagging sense that a TSA officer is looking at their scan. The TSA's Nico Melendez is adamant that naked images do not exist. He says, essentially, what we did is we dumbed down the image for the back scan machine. Now the image is much like a gingerbread cookie, adding, it's the outline of a body. This, however, has not been the case. Don'tScan.us has a comparison on their website of what the scan is supposed to look like and what it actually looks like. It's shocking the amount of detail that the machines are capable of depicting. This proves two things. First, that they are using higher doses of X-rays than they had originally stated, and two, that these images are capable of being leaked onto the internet. These problems must be put to an end, and I'm going to be giving you a few ways to help do so. Lastly, the solutions. There are a few ways that you can help put an end to the x-ray scanners. The first is to opt yourself out of the body scan. You will still be required to participate in a manual pat down, but you will not be harmed by the x-rays. Airport workers will strongly encourage you to take the scan and maybe even force you unless you use the exact words, "I opt out." If these words are used, then they're required to give you the pat down instead. Another option is to contact the TSA and inform them of your dislike of the machines and follow your example, which has, according to Michael Rebell of ProPublica, already banned the use of these machines. The TSA has even removed a few of the machines here in the U.S. According to Kim Bellware of the Huffington Post, the machines have already been removed at O'Hare Airport, with other major airports to soon follow. As it turns out, a newer scanner has recently been developed that, instead of making such a detailed image, makes a generic outline of the body and highlights potentially dangerous items, yellow or orange, so that the security guards know exactly where to check. The best part about these new scanners, no x-rays. They make use of other technology to scan the person, making it much safer for everyone. In conclusion, the current scanners are very dangerous. By simply writing an email to the TSA, you can help remove the current scanners and replace them with more or with newer ones that are just as effective and don't cause any danger to people that are being scanned. There will no longer have to be terrorist attacks on this great nation that is America. It will effectively put an end to the massacre of Americans on planes. Think about when you're going on vacation with your family. When you go to the airport, you want to be safe, so let's make it that way.